Roger Kincaid and Rob Breckenridge.
Listen to Kincaid and Breckenridge on News Talk 770. I'm Rob, that's Roger.
Hi.
A lot more to get to today, but the story we've all been kind of buzzing about this week. And, as I mentioned it to Bruce yesterday, Bruce, just Google creepy puzzle. Because Bruce hadn't heard of this story, and so he looked up creepy puzzle. And, you'll get just a ton of different news stories. This has really gone global, international. I mean, I saw pieces in the Washington Post on this, the Independent in the UK, just to name a few. And you've got internet sleuths all over the world trying to figure out what this is all about. And, if there were nothing here, these people would just say, we got better things to do. But it's just the layers of the onion. One thing leads to another thing, and someone finds something else and something else. They're just layers upon layers upon layers of clues and weird tidbits here. So the question is, what is this?
It's bizarre, and I want to try to explain it in cinema form to you. It's kind of like you're in the movie The Ring. Someone drops off a video cassette or a DVD on your doorstep, and you put it in, and all of a sudden this whole world opens up that you have to explore. It's kind of like the Da Vinci Code, because this video is obviously a puzzle. It's very obviously a puzzle. It's just so creepy and so quirky, and the symbology in it is just so bizarre. And when people do different manipulations to the video or pause it on certain frames, they're starting to notice things, codes, Morse code, stuff that's embedded in the sound. The what do they call that? The stereo spectrum picture? All sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah. I forget, the spectrography, I think, is the word for it, where you take sound and you run it through a spectrograph, and it produces images, and there are obviously images hidden in this video. Well, kind of what kicked off this fascination was our next guest, and he runs a tech blog called GadgetZZ.com, and he got this disc mailed to him. Johnny Krabishler is on the line with us. In fact, he's in Sweden, as a matter of fact. Johnny, thanks so much for joining us here. Welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, so this all kind of starts with the video, which I guess, as we've subsequently learned, has been around. It's been out there on the internet since earlier this year, as best we can tell. But you got this mailed in a package to you, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so tell us about kind of the beginning of this story, getting this in the mail, not knowing what it is, and putting this in and seeing this really creepy video.
Well, I receive a lot of packages, actually, with product samples and such. People want me to write about them, review them. So when I got this and I saw the code on the CD, I first thought it was some kind of software or something someone wanted me to try. So then when I popped it in the computer, I found this creepy video, and I didn't really know what to think.
So there's really...
But then after a while, I started noticing these codes in it, and so it was pretty obviously, like you said, a puzzle.
Is there any indication, Johnny, why it was sent to you? Was there a message specifically for you that accompanied it?
No, that's the big question for me, really. Why was it sent to me specifically? Because on the envelope, there's just the address and the company name.
And it was mailed to you from Poland. From Poland, right?
Yeah, that's right. There are Polish stamps on it.
Because just to give people a sense of how involved others are in trying to figure this out, somebody in Poland seems to have tracked down the building where this video was made, which is pretty crazy in and of itself. But what we're seeing is a person standing in some kind of old, abandoned, decrepit brick building. He's wearing a hood and a cloak and wearing what's known as, I guess, a plague mask, something that droops down and almost looks like a bird's beak, right?
Yeah, and actually it's been uncovered that the building it was filmed in, it's an old mental hospital.
Okay, and then when you watched it the first time, Johnny, you said that it was quite clear to you that it was a puzzle. Do you have some sort of skill in solving these puzzles or cryptoanalysis or anything like that?
No, I don't. Not at all, actually. I had no idea how to solve it. I mean, I tried a bit, but I couldn't really get anywhere. So that's why I decided later to post it.
Was it, were you amused by this?
Well, not amused exactly. I thought it was really creepy and weird. But I didn't know exactly what to think of it.
Yeah, and it's hard to know because we don't know who made it or why, and maybe there is some sinister intent behind it. But as we said at the outset, I mean, someone watching this, just a layman watching this video, would notice, the individuals holding up fingers, 3 fingers, 1 finger, 2 finger. There's a blinking light that's presumably Morse code. There's letters that flash on the screen at various points. So even a layman can see that you're supposed to interpret something out of this video. But the level of sophistication, John, I mean, people are running this audio through spectrograms, etc. There are images hidden in the sound. There's images hidden even deeper. Whoever made this, and whatever reason, they put a lot of work into this, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's really complex, especially as things are getting uncovered. You're starting to notice it's even more complex than you thought.
So, yeah, it's the nature of that complexity, though, that I think would have most people quite shocked. For example, someone has deciphered a code that they believe to be an anagram for "kill the president." There is a lot of symbols of death in here. In the spectrogram, they reveal some images of skulls, also some images that it turns out are traced to a German slasher film. So there is definitely some violent imagery associated with this video. Has that made you nervous, Johnny?
Yeah, especially when the images of the, torture, what you should call it, the slasher film, when that was uncovered, I was really creeped out because everyone thought it was a serial killer trying to spread their work. So I was kind of relieved when it was linked to a movie.
Okay, so those are movie images, right? I mean, that's one weird aspect of this story, is that hidden in basically the audio, if people can imagine that, hidden in the audio are some really gruesome images that led a lot of people to think, wow, this might be some kind of a serial killer. But from what we can tell, those are images from movies?
Yeah, one is from a movie. One is actually an old piece of art, a painting. And, it seems they're all from the internet, really.
Because, I mean, that was the one thing that people said initially, Johnny, was that, this couldn't possibly be a PR stunt because that would be disastrous to seemingly have veiled threats about killing the president and then have these gruesome images of women being tortured and slaughtered. That would be bad PR. But if these are just, images from movies, et cetera, does it maybe get us back to wondering whether this is indeed a PR stunt, do you think?
Well, a lot of people are linking it to different movies and even music artists.
Well, there's a Dan Brown movie coming out next year. A lot of people are saying, and the character in that Dan Brown book wears the plague mask, that people think that maybe it's trying to promote that movie.
Yeah, apparently it fits quite well to that movie. It's just, like you said, it is a really weird PR stunt because it's so extreme.
Indeed. Johnny, we're going to take a commercial break here. We're going to put you on hold, and we'll continue this conversation afterwards. So please hang on the line. Stand by there. Let me just do this to you. Because you're listening, maybe you haven't seen the video yet. And you're wondering, you're listening to Johnny Krabischler say, he sounds kind of nervous. He says he is nervous. He says he's creeped out by it. Let me just do this to you. Go to the blog page, newstalk770.com. You can watch the video, but here's what it sounds like.
Even that.
Yeah, just to be clear,
that's
by the
scary.
way, nothing happened to your radio there, okay? Your radio is reproducing the authentic audio that we're trying to make it. And this is what the video sounds like.
Now, imagine a real scary-looking dude standing there. That's scary.
This video is full-on creepy. Full-on creepy.
And so even someone emailed us to, even the title of this video as it's posted on YouTube translates in binary to you've got 1 year or less left. And a lot of weird messages like that. You are all already dead, it says at one point. And you mentioned the anagram that's contained in it as well. We'll come back. Johnny Krabischler is on the line with us. GadgetZZ.com is where you can begin your quest to solve this mystery. We're back with more right after this.
I'm Roger. That's Rob. We're talking to Johnny Krabischler. You should take over, Rob. I'm having a hard time. Johnny Krabischler, who's he's the one who had this creepy video emailed to him. Now, this was put up on YouTube, but Johnny received it in a CD form with a weird, what looked like a product key written on the DVD. Johnny, there are so many different types of codes all over this DVD. You put it up on your blog page at GadgetZZ.com. How many people would you estimate are kind of participating in trying to solve the puzzle?
Well, that's really hard to say. I mean, it's obviously a lot of people. There are so many mirrors out there, people writing about it. It's even on the radio now. And it's really hard to say, but just my website, it's receiving tens of thousands of visits every day. It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Now, by the way, that product key or whatever it was on the disc itself, did anybody manage to glean something from that? Was that a code for something? Do we know?
Yeah, apparently it's the title of the first video that was uploaded. It's something like 11-BX-1371. Now, I have no idea what that means.
Okay, here's the other weird thing about it. I mentioned this earlier. Somebody put this same video on YouTube back in May. And obviously a lot of people thinking that maybe that's the person who made this. What do we know about that?
Well, I don't really know anything about that guy. It's someone called Parker Wright. The account is called that. But we haven't been able to find him. However, there was someone who uploaded it even earlier. Let's see, what was his name?
Like AETBX or something.
AETBX.
And he claimed he found it on a park bench on a CD. Is that right?
Yeah. He said it was a girl who found it on a park bench and then gave it to him. And, well, I don't know. I mean, might be him. I have no idea, really.
But it definitely came from Poland, right?
Yeah, it does seem that way. I mean, it was filmed in Poland, and I got a envelope from Poland, so it does seem that way.
With the Polish stamps and everything.
Yeah.
God, it's creepy talking about it. Now, has anyone come forward, Johnny, who is like a well-known cryptologist or cipher specialist to try and take a crack at it, or is this mostly just amateur web sleuths who are having a go at it?
It's hard to say. I'm getting a lot of emails from people suggesting things that they've found, but it's no one that seems professional at it, I'd say.
I wonder, too, and I don't know that you necessarily know about this, but I don't know, maybe at some point someone might contact you for information, because there's an anagram that apparently translates to kill the president. There's one part of the video where some numbers come up, and it's actually the GPS coordinates for the White House. Any kind of veiled threat of the president, I would think law enforcement in the U.S. would take seriously. Is there any indication that this is being investigated?
Not really. I mean, I would think they would have contacted me already, but
no one has. Huh?
I would suppose, right? But I would suppose that they've already seen this, so they're probably looking into it.
Yeah, because that gets back to the point about if this is a PR stunt and you're going to throw in some veiled references about killing the president, that seems risky to me.
Yeah, incredibly. That's actually the part that scares me the most. I don't really like that part.
Johnny, is there anything that Rob and I maybe don't know that you're privy to that you can share with us, or is this as mysterious to you as it is to us right now?
It is as mysterious to me, really. But everything I'm finding out, I'm posting on the blog. I'm posting updates all the time.
But your life hasn't changed at all, though, has it? Has anything strange happened to you?
Well, besides the attention, not really. But there is a lot of attention.
Well, and I guess there's probably cynics out there who say, wait a sec, people are going to this guy's website, he's getting attention, how do we know he didn't make it?
Right. Well, first of all, I couldn't even make it. This is incredibly advanced, it seems. And then there's the Polish envelope, and, well, I've never even been in Poland, so there's that.
So what do you think is the most likely theory? There are those who say it's all just a hoax. You know, someone made this just to see if people would go chasing after it. You know, maybe it's some kind of someone who's a serial killer or a terrorist, something along those lines, or the other theory that it's some kind of publicity stunt.
At this point, I have no idea.
Could
there have been so
be any
many
of them.
theories.
And they all seem equally valid at this point.
Yeah, more or less. I'm actually going to post another post with a sort of breakthrough of the theories, breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe that'll shed some light on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
But really, it all seems doubtful. It seems like a strange way for both a serial killer or a terrorist or anything to spread their message, really.
Well, no kidding. And I
Yeah.
mean, even just for you personally, the notion that it could be that, and they chose to mail it to you, right? That's disturbing.
That's extremely disturbing. And I mean, if they wanted to get it out there, they would have sent it to other news agencies.
Right.
Because my website it's not even that large.
It's like a tech blog, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this doesn't even, at first glance, it doesn't seem like it's related at all.
All right. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for your time today, and we certainly appreciate you coming on the radio and talking about this.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, take care. GadgetZZ.com. People can follow along there. Johnny, all the best. Take care.
You too. Bye.
All right. Johnny Krabishler on the line with us from the birthplace of IKEA.
It's very true, actually. Do you remember Nine Inch Nails doing a publicity stunt?
Are they past tense? Are they not around anymore?
They're still around.
Okay.
But Trent Reznor did this publicity stunt where it was a voicemail in a girl's bathroom of someone rushing in, calling and saying, "Oh my God, they're shooting up the club," and then all you heard was scream gunshots. Right? That was the end of the voicemail. And it kind of got spread virally about this horrible thing happening. It turned out to be this publicity stunt for a Nine Inch Nails release. And it's sort of like, how far are you willing to go? How uneasy are you willing to make people to promote your enterprise, whatever
Right.
it might be? I'll tell you something. If this is the Dan Brown movie Inferno that's doing this, if Dan Brown and for some reason they decided to do this and they decided to make Johnny Krabishler's life uneasy for a year before this film comes out or 6 months before this film comes out, that's going to be a hell of a good movie.
But, again, I mean, that's a Tom Hanks PG-13 movie, and there's just some really disturbing stuff in this video.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't quite add up, but it could be. It could be. Anyway, we got to take a break.
Roger Kincaid and Rob Breckenridge.